doing? I am outside enjoying the sunshine. This is Abigail Barella with Sparkle and Shine Guidance. If you don't know who I am here to talk to you about the lunar eclipse in 8 degrees of Gemini that's happening on Monday, November 30th, if you're in Pacific Standard Time. And this lunar eclipse, whenever we have a lunar eclipse, it's clearing out, it's bringing things into consciousness so that we can clear out. And what's interesting about Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the god that can travel. I mean, he's very androgynous, so he travels beyond gender fluidity, and also can travel to the underworld, to the above world, and because of that, he brings us information. The higher octave of Gemini is Uranus, where we get sudden aha moments, and Uranus just went direct, so that's definitely an influence on this eclipse, as is the opposition between Uranus and Taurus, opposite Venus in Scorpio, because Venus, hi, if you're just joining me, I'm talking about the lunar eclipse that's happening Monday. And I just wanted to give a little bit more information about Gemini. So Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. And since Mercury and Uranus are very active at this time, it's bringing in lots of information that can be really uncomfortable at times. Hello. It can be uncomfortable at times. It can make us feel even more less stable, basically, even more unstable. And it's all for a purpose. And so one of the things about coming into new areas and levels of consciousness is our ego has to let go of the identity or the belief that it had in order to be in the truth of what is. And what is always expanding and shifting. And so in order to do that, we have to allow our egos to kind of take a back seat. And this is why our free 3-day challenge for solar powered starts the day after the lunar eclipse. It's December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and you can register through the link in my profile. It's a free challenge, 3 days with me to really soar into solar power this month, because December is, as I've been saying, it's graduation time. We are being welcomed into a whole new era. And this is also true because even though this is a partial lunar eclipse, this partial lunar eclipse is with Neptune going direct today, squaring the nodes of the moon. So the nodes of the moon are what tell us when eclipses are happening. This is a partial eclipse because it's 1 more degree than 10 degrees away from the nodes of the moon. Hi, if you're just joining me talking about the lunar eclipse. There's some loud people out here, I'm sorry. But so it's a partial eclipse because it is more than 10 degrees away from the nodes of the moon. But the nodes of the moon are directly squaring Neptune. Neptune is an outer planet, and Neptune has to do with our connection to source, our connection to each other in the highest consciousness possible. So it's not connection to each other out of need, necessity, out of like codependency. It's our highest connection to each other, recognizing that we are all one consciousness, we are all one connection, as we know that. And when we're in this 3D reality, we all feel very separate, and we also feel separated from source. And one of the things about this journey, being human, is going through the process of being separated from source and finding that inner God source within us. Helpful to know where your Neptune is in your houses, because you'll know how you connect to source, and reactivating that connection to source from within. And one of the ways that we do this is by meditation, which is also Neptunian, dream time, active dreaming, journey work. We dive in order to come out renewed and refreshed. And what shifts in that process is once we dive in deep enough, then we come out and we have compassion for others. We recognize our likeness. We recognize that there is no other, right? And so it's a really interesting journey, because a lot of what we're coming up against this year that has been that has been happening for a long time, but as our consciousness expands, so does the desire to squelch that. So does the desire to keep us in a state of separation, because a lot of people profit from the state of separateness. A lot of people profit from our feeling like we're not enough or we're not doing enough, right? So this lunar eclipse brings in information, Gemini, aha moments, Uranus and Mercury, to connect us back to our spiritual center, connect us back to our own place of source within us. And as we're doing that process, it gets uncomfortable because we're confronted with a lot of our false beliefs and a lot of our delusions, and Neptune has to do with this as well. And so as that happens, it can be a little bit frightening. And that's, again, why I'm hosting a 3-day journey with me to get into your solar power, because we all need guidance as we are making this journey. I get guidance. We all need guidance. It is not a journey we are meant to do in isolation. And so even if it has to be connecting through this format or through computer screens at this time, we need to create that bridge of within ourselves of recognizing that we're all trying to be happy. We're all trying to live full lives. We're all actually are concerned about each other, and we're conditioned to believe that, you know, that there's an us and them, that there's a bad and good. And the reality is that lives within each of us. So with this lunar eclipse, it's on 8 degrees. It's at 8 degrees of Gemini. You want to look to not only 8 degrees of Gemini and within 10 degrees of that, but you also want to look to if you have any planets or placements between, 1 to 20 degrees of the mutable signs. This is a lot of us, right? Because the mutable signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, okay? So any of those, if you have planets in those other placements, this is going to be squaring or opposing that, okay? So just be aware that as Neptune goes direct today, we might notice a bit more of a dreamy-like connection coming back into consciousness again. And this is a time to pay attention to your dreams. This is a time to clear your mind, meditate, do all the things that keep you in a state of fluidity and keep you in a state of not being closed down. So what I mean by that is when we're in a state of necessity or attachment or neediness, we're closing ourselves down to outside information. We're closing ourselves down to insight and inspiration. And really at this time, we are meant to stay open to the inspirations and the insight that's wanting to come in at this time. Since this degree of Gemini has to do with a light shining and being in our brightness and being in our full shine, we also want to look at any stories, beliefs, wounds that we have that keep us from being in our full shine, okay? And we want to work with that. So again, register for my 3-day challenge, and we're going to dive into this. So I planned this 3 days with you in order to really assist in the graduation process of this time. And because we are going to be going into a partial lunar eclipse at 8 degrees of Gemini, and then we are going to be in the wormhole, and it's during that wormhole time that I'm hosting this, so it's next week. And then we have to clear. We have to be open to clearing. We have to be open to recognizing our own bullshit. We have to be open to recognizing the stories that hold us back, the beliefs that hold us back. And then, and only then, are we prepared for this graduation day, which there's really 2 dates, and the whole month is really a part of this. But December 14th is the new moon total solar eclipse. It's the biggest eclipse of 2020. The effects of this eclipse will be for about 3 years because it is so much of a totality, and it's visible in South America and in Southern Africa, I believe. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly. I'll post more on that as it gets closer. But it's such a massive eclipse, and that's at 23 degrees of Sag. I'll be talking about that more later, but I wanted to do this challenge as a way to guide and guide, but also hold space for the work that needs to be done in order to soar at this time and not get stuck in our suffering, not get stuck in being manipulated by our emotions, being manipulated by our desires. So staying unattached and staying detached to that neediness that might come up around this time is essential. And so that's why the link in my profile will take you to join our 3-day journey together. And then beyond that, then we have December 21st, solstice, is when we will have a massive conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter, newly in Aquarius. This is ushering in a whole new time period for us to move into. It's super exciting. You want to look to where your early degrees of Aquarius, but not only Aquarius, because anything that makes aspects to that. So any of the early degree air signs and any of the fixed signs early degrees are going to make aspects to that, and you want to be aware of that because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. I was talking about Uranus bringing in information, bringing in aha moments, bringing in new areas of consciousness that we didn't even know were there. And so because of that, it is absolutely a time where we're going to see massive shifts in the collective. And I'm already starting to notice more and more people kind of being aware of things that they had been asleep to in the past in their own lives. And so it's a really exciting time. I feel like I'm coming into new areas, and it's the first time where I'm feeling really excited about this month and really excited about the next few months, because looking ahead before was kind of like maybe not so fun to look at. So I'm excited for this month and next month. And if you're interested in working with me further, I'm booked out through end of January, but you can book with me. I still have a few sessions left in January for full astrological chart readings. But I'm really moving into doing this year-long group support container, moving through each one of the zodiac signs together. So we start at the solstice. We start at December 21st on graduation day. And we go every month. We go hard every month. We go in deep. And this group container is going to be supporting all of us as we flourish into 2021 in our 2021 solar power. So if you're interested in that, you can reach out. I do a call to give more information and see if you're a good fit. So if you're interested in that, just reach out. I hope you all take such good care of yourselves. Gemini is the busiest energy. Gemini is the seeing different sides of things energy. And it's very much connected to like a dragonfly or a hummingbird, like how quick the motion is. And so with that, if you can just find ways to slow, be in nature, sit, soak up the sun if you have any near you, and really be in the receptive mode to the information, the consciousness, and the old BS ways, the old junk DNA that's clearing out at this time, so that you can receive this higher integration and this higher consciousness. I'm really, really excited to be along with you all on this journey of evolution. And what an exciting time to be alive, huh? The other thing that I just wanted to mention with this full moon lunar eclipse is because of the square to the nodes with Neptune, we really want to also be aware of our, the nodes are where we're being drawn to go into and where we are pulled back into the past. And so you really want to have a clear state of mind about where you want to be and where you don't want to get pulled back into, because with the square to Neptune, we can go unconscious as well to the changes that we're wanting to make. So however you can invest into your future self, however you can invest into your future goals at this time is going to pay off quadrupled. So I'm really excited to host this 3-day journey with you. I hope to see you there December 1st. The link's in my profile. It's free, and it's 3 days with me journeying in and preparing ourselves to soar in 2021. Take good care. Bye-bye.